Oh, hello, Mr. Bad Guy. I see you're armed with a knife. Would you like to see my knife defense? Okay.
You've already read the title. In this video, I'm going to talk about why the idea of defending myself against a knife-wielding maniac stresses me out, and why there's no perfect response to a knife attack.
There are many ways to defend yourself against a knife attack.
Some work great. Some are just laughable.
But let's be honest. You don't want to have to use a knife attack defense in real life if you don't have to. And why is that, you ask? Because you're gonna get stabbed! That's right, you have a 90% chance of getting a chunk of steel in you!
Even those rough Filipino knife fighters seem to agree with this idea. They admit that even their defenses are more suggestions rather than the gospel truth. And their style of knife defense works best when it's knife on knife.
Now, let's not talk about those guys. My audience is generally between 18 and 40 years old. They work office jobs or trade jobs. And they watch my channel because they're looking for some practical self-defense knowledge. Now, a knife-on-knife fight, that's not practical. And if you do win that fight, the jury's not gonna look favorably on you. Now, these are just my opinions, so bring on the experts! Oh!
So the experts I brought in today were Matt and Micah from West Coast Krav Maga. As you know, Krav Maga is a practical fighting system, mainly designed for self-defense and getting home safely. Today, we're going to talk to them about knife defenses, when to use them, what can go wrong with them, and why fighting with knives is scary.
What would your go-to be if you were ever attacked by a knife?
Obviously the classic is just run, have a good 40-yard dash.
The pre-interview went as you would expect when I asked this question. Use the Nike defense. Get out of there as soon as possible. But an interesting point did come up.
It really would depend on the type of attack, because I think there's kind of two. There could be, I see somebody that has a knife and they're advancing towards me, in which case I wouldn't even want to tangle up with them. But it could also be that we're already fighting with each other and then someone pulls out a knife, and that's going to be an entirely different defense.
Okay, so this is a lot to unpack here. But let's talk about the knife attack that you would see about 70% of the time. A lot of times we train with but like
the OJ.
The OJ. But how does it go in real life?
What I've seen, watching a whole bunch of videos of people getting stabbed, a lot of times it's this sort of straight sort of attack, but it's especially preceded by, before I stab you, I grab you, and then try and do something like that.
Got it. So it's sort of, and then it's like that repetitive sewing machine.
Of course, yeah, it's never just one.
Yeah. It's likely that the person who's going to stab you learned to stab in probably a correctional facility.
That's possible.
And my theory may not be too far off. The sewing machine method looks like something you would see in a prison movie. My first thought was it was important to set up a wall to block that attack, but Micah had a more sensible method to defense: the parry and pop.
The block is good because you're avoiding that first stab, but are you going to avoid the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth? So one of the things that you got to do is you got to be moving your feet. If you're a stationary target, you're good as dead. So what I probably would do, I would hope, is I would see this coming, I parry and I move. So just like I would parry across coming towards me, like in boxing, I redirect that knife so I avoid that first strike, but I quickly move out of the way. So now if you want to get me again, you have to be continually chasing me down, right? So I'm in that intermediate space where like that 40-yard dash isn't necessarily accessible, because if I just, turn and go, you're still gonna get me. But I can avoid 2 or 3 of your stabs here, moving away, and then hopefully, get to safety.
The pop part being the punch too, that's important as well, because you can parry all day, but if I'm not going back into a strike, then it's not gonna necessarily prevent further attacks at that point, so.
Okay, so we've discussed a move that kind of works effectively when an attacker reveals a knife to you. Although most of the time, an attacker's not gonna give you that kind of information beforehand. What's the move for this? You know what I mean? Or like, what's the move for that? Like what do we do with that?
I mean, we do have certain things like quick defenses covering the neck and stuff, but again, that's it. You better be fast, because if you don't see it coming. But the biggest thing I would say is just not be in that position with somebody in the first place. I don't know what you have, I don't know what you're doing, so I would not let you get this close in the first place, and like, even if you're arguing with me, I would start to get distance at that point already and backing away, because.
And Matt really hit the nail on the head here. Creating distance is going to be key in a knife attack. In fact, many of the attacks that we see that end in a fatality is because of this. More on that later though. I learned this lesson the hard way when we pressure tested these methods. Let me briefly touch on what a lot of self-defense theologians talk about in knife fights. Wrestling, particularly the Russian 2-on-1 method. Wrestling over a knife can be effective at controlling your attacker, especially when you're in a confined space and the attacker has revealed the knife too late for you to react beforehand. And to do it, it helps to be decently good at wrestling, and reasonably strong. Now, it's certainly a move that would be hard to make second nature, as it does require a lot of training. So at the time I was filming this, I was feeling that the Parry and Pop was my move. Create distance and run. But I soon found out that the Parry and Pop requires its own level of training.
Whoa, dude, it's okay.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
I'm dead.
The problem I kept having with this method was I kept freezing up. I tried over and over again, but for some reason I just wanted to hang out with a guy who was trying to hurt me. Micah finally pulled me aside and gave me the most common sense advice.
Yeah, so one of the issues that we're seeing is that you're letting Stanley get way too close to you. So he's already within the point where he could reach out and touch you when he tries to make that stab, and it's going to be really, really hard to stop that.
Okay.
So at the start of this year, I was actually fortunate enough to go train with Craig Douglas. He does a lot of sort of knife training, all sorts of cool stuff, and he actually had a really, really cool demonstration, which was showing just how hard it is to actually stop something. So what he did was, from this distance right here, I'm gonna tell you exactly what I'm gonna do. My right hand from this position, I'm gonna reach out, try and smack you on the stomach.
Okay.
All you have to do is hit my hand out of the way, block it, do whatever you want, right?
Okay.
I'm not gonna tell you when I'm gonna do it. It's just gonna come from this hand every single time,
Okay.
right? And we'll have a nice reset in between.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Good to go?
Yep.
Okay. There's one, so I got you there.
Okay.
All right, here goes another one.
Okay.
Again.
Okay.
All right, we'll do another.
Okay.
There's another. Okay. All right, we'll do one more. How about that? All right, there's that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
again, right? But look at this distance here, right? I can reach out and touch you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
My action is probably going to be faster than your reaction.
Yeah.
Right. So I'll take just a little half step back.
Okay.
Right. Now we're here. So now I need to lean and move a little bit more to get you. All right. So same thing.
Okay.
Try and smack my hand out of the way. I'm not going to be nice. I'm really going to try and get you.
Okay.
I might still get you, but we'll see if you do any better.
Okay.
All right. Ready?
Yeah.
So there was one. So you got me there. You got me there.
That's
right?
crazy. Okay, go
Right.
ahead.
There's another.
Okay. Okay.
We'll do one more. We did
Okay.
4 on the other one.
Okay.
We'll do 4
Yeah,
right here.
yeah,
Okay, ready?
yeah.
Same distance, right?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm ready.
All right. So
That is mind-blowing. It's a
Okay,
half.
this is so obvious. Create distance. Don't reason with an attacker that is approaching you. It also reminded me of an important lesson that Icy Mike taught in a recent video. You will never be prepared for any kind of attack unless you train your response, even running. Your defense needs to be second nature, otherwise you'll just freeze up. So I tried again.
Whoa, take it easy.
I was semi-successful in that I was only grazed lightly by a knife. And we aren't going to count the fact that Stan threw the knife at me.
Was that what it was? He threw it at me? Cheater.
I still prefer the method of not engaging an attacker, like get out of there, like don't get yourself in that situation. But whatever method you think is best, train it and train it and train it over and over and over again until it is second nature. So before uploading this video, I sent a rough cut of it over to my friend Lewis, and he told me I needed to talk more about the wrestling aspect of knife defense. He was telling me that sometimes you just don't have the option to run away. Sometimes you're already in the fight and the knife comes out. And he's absolutely correct. Also, we need to talk about what you do if you have another person with you, like your kids or your wife. It's just there's so much to talk about with knife defenses, which is why this is only part 1 of this video series. I'll be coming out with a part 2 soon. Until then, watch this video and stay out of trouble. Also, feel free to like and subscribe. It really helps a new channel grow.
Self-defense. Oh my God. Okay, I can do this.